Nyesha McCauley, and you're watching accesstv.org.
Good morning. It's wonderful to be back this morning from my vacation. I had a week in Florida that I really enjoyed myself this morning. And when I was in Florida, I was thinking about a few things, and I decided to do this story for you. The name of the story is Here's My Bill, Old Master. You know, when we first became free in 1865, it was very hard. 300 years of slavery, and then all of a sudden we're free. You know, it was so hard on the ex-slaves. It was also hard on the masters. And this particular master wrote his ex-slave, a letter because he wanted him to come back home. And this is what was in the letter. And the slave's name was Jordan Anderson. So I want to read you Mr. Anderson's letter to his master after he had become free. This was in Dayton, Ohio, August 7th, 1865. To my old master, Colonel P.H. Anderson, Big Springs, Tennessee. Sir, I got your letter, and I was glad to find that you had not forgotten Jordan, and that you wanted me to come back and live with you again, promising to do better for me than anybody else can. I have often felt uneasy about you. I thought the Yankees would have hung you long before this for harboring rebs they found at your house. I suppose they never heard about your going to Colonel Martin's to kill the Union soldier that was left by his company in their stable. Although you shot at me a couple of times, I did not want to hear of your being hurt, and am glad you are still alive. It would do me good to go back to the dear old home again and see Miss Mary and Miss Martha and Allen, Esther, Green, and Lee. Give my love to them all and tell them I hope we will meet in the better world, if not this. I would have gone back to see you all when I was working in Nashville Hospital, but one of the neighbors told me that Henry intended to shoot me if he ever saw me again. I want to know particularly what's the good chance is you supposed to give me. I am doing tolerably well. I get $25 a month with victuals and clothing, have a comfortable home for Mammy, and the folks call her Mrs. Anderson, and the children, Millie, Jane, and Grundy, go to school and learn well. The teachers say Grundy has a head for preaching. They go to Sunday school, and Mandy and me, we attend church regular. We are kindly treated. Sometimes we overhear others saying them colored people were slaves down in Tennessee. The children feel hurt when they hear such remarks, but I tell them it was no disgrace in Tennessee to belong to Colonel Anderson. Many darkies would have been proud, as I used to be, to call you master. Now, if you will write and say what wages you will give me, I will be better able to decide whether it would be to my advantage to move back again. As to my freedom, which you say I can have, there is nothing to be gained on that score, as I got my free papers in 1864 from the Provost Marshal General of the Department of Nashville. Mandy says she would be afraid to go back without some proof that you were disposed to treat us justly and kindly. And we have concluded to test your sincerity by asking you to send us our wages for the time we served. This will make you forget and forgive old scores, and rely on your justice and friendship in the future. I served you faithfully for 32 years and Mandy 20 years. At $25 a month for me and $2 a week for Mandy, our earnings would amount to $11,680. Add to this the interest for the time our wages have been kept back, and deduct what you paid for the clothing and 3 doctor visits to me and pulling a tooth for Mandy, and the balance, which will show what we are in justice entitled to. Please send the money by Adam Express in care of V. Winters, Esquire, Dayton, Ohio. If you fail to pay us for faithful labor in the past, we can have little faith in your promise in the future. We trust the good Maker has opened your eyes to the wrongs which you and your fathers have done to me and my fathers in making us toil for you for generations without compensation. Here, I draw my wages every Saturday night, but in Tennessee, there was never any payday for the Negroes any more than for the horses and the cows. Surely there will be a day of reckoning for those who defraud the labor of his hire. In answering this letter, please state if there would be any safety for my Millie and Jane, who are now grown up and both good-looking girls. You know how it was with poor Madeline and Kathleen. I would rather stay here and starve and die, if it come to that, than have my girls brought to shame by the violence and wickedness of their young masters. You will also please state if there has been any school openings for the colored children in your neighborhood. The great desire of my life now is to give my children an education and have them form virtuous habits. Say howdy to George Carter and thank him for taking the pistol from you when you were shooting at me. From your old servant, Jordan Anderson. Well, what do you think old master did? I think he just might have paid him. You think so? Why don't you just drop me a line and tell me whether you think Jordan Anderson ever went home. Thank you for joining us this morning. Love being back, and I'll see you next time. You have a great day now.